The game will begin very, very shortly. As there's the buzzer, Vikings are going to be playing on the right side of the court. We're going to have the Sentinels on the left side of the court. Both 22, Michael Mitten. Number 25, Chase Chandler gets the start today. Number 33, Isaac Garrett. And finally, number 42, Braun Roberts, are the 5 starters for the Vikings. Chase Chandler today against Mountain Ridge. All other Vikings have started at least one game, all other of the starters. And now the Sentinels will get announced. They come into this game 2-1 with wins over Highland and Hillcrest, and a loss. Big height advantage for the Vikings as they'll take the tip. It's going to be Roberts starting. Very different beginnings of the season for these teams. However, the schedule difficulty is much different for both of them. The Vikings play tomorrow against Timpview at 7 o'clock. We'll have that game here on PGSN as all. I apologize. Peterson back to Mitten, over to Chandler. Chandler stuck in a corner, trying to get it to Garrett. He finds him, and it's off the fingers of Garrett. It's going to be Sentinel basketball. Pretty good student section here for the Sentinels, filling up 7 or 8 rows on the same night of another meeting in their auditorium. And this ball's stolen by Garrett, and he's going to push it up the court. Feeds it to Chandler. Chandler tries to finish with the left hand. He cannot. Rebound by Lindsay. Now driving up is Dixon. Dixon tries to finish with the right hand, and it's a charge. Dixon's first of the game, and the Sentinels' first of the game. It's a charge on Dixon going against Roberts. Chandler's going to inbound to Mitten. Chandler missed a tough layup, just barely. We stay 0-0 here in the opening minute. Mitten looks right, looks left, gets it over to Peterson. Now back to Mitten, now over to Chandler. Chandler gets it up to Garrett. Garrett in the post. Left hand, and he's fouled. Looks like a shooting foul. It's on Spencer Kranich, the Sentinel's second of the game, and it is a shooting foul, so Garrett will get 2. We apologize for any camera issues and lag issues we may have here. As he can't get it then. No foul called. Moeller starts to look, gets it over to Evans. Evans over to Lindsay. Lindsay to Kranich. Kranich drives, right hand, steps back. That's Dixon. Gets it in to Moeller. Moeller doesn't get it anywhere. It's Evans looking out. Another charge call. So the Vikings just keeps getting set in the paint, and that's 2 charges. Earlier when Garrett was shooting free throws, he has a very swift motion. He gets the ball and he just puts it up. No waiting, no extra dribbles, just one dribble and it's up. Mitten's going to take it across the half line. Off the inbound from Chandler, gets it over to Peterson. Peterson to Chandler. Chandler thought about a 3, doesn't take it. Roberts inside in the paint. Gets it back out to Chandler. Chandler for 3. He can't quite get it. And it's going to be a rebound Peterson. So Vikings keep the basketball. Feeds it into Mitten. Mitten. He gets that one in. It's 3-0 Vikings. Mitten was a huge contributor in the Vikings' loss to Hillcrest on Saturday last week. Now it's Dixon. He scored 8 of the Vikings' first 10 points. Kranich now over to Moeller. Moeller drives right hand on Roberts, and he gets a nice layup. Good move. It's 3-2 now. Vikings keep the lead. As Mitten inbounds to Peterson, who gives it back. Now he takes it across the logo. Mitten looking for a screen, doesn't get one. Gets it over to Peterson. Peterson at the top of the key. Over to Mitten. Mitten and Peterson switch now. Looking for the call from Coach McAllister. Back over to Peterson. Peterson gets it into Chandler. Chandler mid-range. In and out. Rebound Evans. Evans tries to push the tempo. Starts to slow down a little bit. Now he's driving. Right hand. What a nice move, but he can't finish. Rebound Chandler. Out to Peterson. Peterson starts to drive. Now it's a 3-on-3. Right hand, gets it out to Garrett, and he was out of bounds. Good pass, and Garrett had a wide open shot, but he steps out, and it's a Viking turnover. The inbound to Evans. Evans looking at Coach Briggs. Gets it over to Lindsay. Lindsay over to Moeller. Moeller back to Dixon. Dixon back to Moeller. Moeller over to Lindsay. Evans. Guarded by Garrett. Gets a screen. Over to Dixon. Dixon tries to drive. Can't do anything with it. Over to Kranich. Kranich left hand. Gets it over to Evans. Evans now top of the key. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. 2, 1, and it's another charge call. The third of the game on the Sentinels with 2 remaining on the shot clock, and they now have 4 fouls, excuse me. So the inbound by Chandler over to Mitten. Crosses the timeline. Looks left. Motions someone up. Gets it over to Chandler. Chandler from the three-point line gets it into Garrett. Wide open down low. It's Vikings 5, Sentinels 2. Now it's Evans taken across the logo. Guarded by Chandler. Gets it over to Kranich. Kranich back to Evans. Evans back to Kranich. Kranich, and it's a foul called on Makai Peterson, the 6'3" junior guard. The Vikings' first of the game. And now Mickelson's going to go in for Peterson. And they're going to have Roberts as well. And now Jackson, he exited for Spencer Kranich. And they'll get it to Evans. Evans. And it is stolen by Mitten. And it's poked out of bounds. And they give it to the Sentinels. It looked like it was out on Mountain Ridge, but they call it out on the Vikings. And now they point Vikings' way, it seems. Timeout by Mountain Ridge, and we'll be back here. We'd like to thank KSL, our partner here at PGSN. And it will be Sentinel basketball. And they took the timeout as well to get a play call set up. So it's going to be Dixon inbounding. Looks like he's going to get it to Evans. Evans now gets it back to Dixon. Dixon inside. That's Lindsay. 3 is no good. Rebound Garrett, and a foul called. It was Jackson Briggs with the shot. And the foul was on Jaron Dixon, number 3. Garrett inbounds to Mitten. Mitten takes it and gets it across. Back to Mitten. Mitten over to Viking receiving the penalty. For the majority of it, and out goes. Now looks like it's going to be Caden Stone inbounding to Evans. As Mountain Ridge switches it up one more time to the key. Looking, driving left on Mitten, driving right. Gets it out to over to Briggs. Briggs now gets it out to Evans. Evans, top of the key, left hand, right hand now. Fires a high pass to Stone, who keeps it over to Blackwell, over to Moeller, and now it's Briggs who takes the shot. And it's in and out. Rebound Roberts. Roberts now drives, and he gets fouled. The 6th of the quarter, and we've got 1:30 left. The Vikings have 3, the Sentinels have 6. So the Vikings are 1 away from getting a 1-and-1. Roberts is going to shoot 2 here for a shooting foul. As Murdoch gets in front of him, it's Blackwell now. Searching the court, driving left, gets it out. Now it's Moeller who gets it over to Kranich. Kranich gets it out to Blackwell. Blackwell over to Moeller. Back to Key. Driving on Dean. It's poked away by Peterson, but grabbed by Briggs. Gets it out to Murdoch. Murdoch over to Peterson. Peterson thinks about a three, doesn't take it. Back to Murdoch, top of the key, over to Mickelson. Mickelson down low to Roberts. Roberts up to Murdoch. Murdoch gets it over to Peterson. Peterson was wide open, takes a short jumper, and it's in. 8-2 is your score. Under 30 left to play in the first quarter. Pushing it now is Blackwell. Guarded by Murdoch. Gets it out to Kranich. Kranich over to Blackwell, over to Moeller. Moeller back to corner. It's good. Vikings get to double. Overall, a good first half for the Vikings. You know, if you hold your opponent to 2 points, it's nothing to look bad on. As we'll begin the second quarter, Vikings, we'll see who they bring out. We'll see who the Sentinels bring out. They shot the 3 right now, up 9. Need to play a little more conservative, just get some time off the clock and go down low. That's something the Vikings haven't done a lot this game. They've been taking mid-ranges, mostly with their shots, and then three-pointers. We'll see what they do here in the second quarter. Stone inbounds to Evans. Evans back to Stone. Stone, left hand. Gets it over to Kranich, and he's fouled by Peterson. It's the Vikings' 4th of the half, and Peterson's 2nd. Inbounding is going to be Stone. He's going to inbound it to Evans again. Evans is going to get behind the timeline, guarded by Mickelson now. Gets it back to Kranich. Kranich, right hand, left hand, shoots a short jumper, and it's good. So 11-4 now. And now it's Mickelson pushing it up. Looking right, gets it right to Peterson, back to Mickelson, over to Murdoch. Murdoch gets it back to Mickelson, back to Murdoch, thinks about a 3, doesn't take it. Down low to Roberts. Roberts now. Turnaround jumper, and it's a good shot. 13-4 now. Briggs. Briggs over, 3-pointer by Evans is no good. Rebound Mickelson. He's going to hold up. Gets it out to Murdoch. Murdoch drives right hand. Back to Mickelson. Mickelson had a shot, doesn't take it. Now it's Peterson. He drives baseline. Over to, not Chandler, excuse me, Mickelson, and he can't quite make it. And so now it's Evans pushing the court. Curve. Back to Briggs, over to Kranich. Kranich now driving, left hand, and they call a foul on Roberts. Braun Roberts, the 6'11 senior forward for the Vikings. Oh, excuse me, it was on Peterson, his 3rd of the game. We'll see if he checks out quickly. It looks like he will for Mitten. It looks like Mitten and Chandler will come in for Murdoch and Peterson, but we'll see after this horn. First shot is no good. And it's Garrett, Mitten, and Chandler coming in for Peterson, Mickelson, and Dean, excuse me. So now the Vikings have Murdoch, Mitten, Garrett, Roberts, and Chandler on the court. The second shot for Kranich, he missed the first. Second one's good. 13-5, 6:30 left to go in the second quarter and the first half. Mitten now. Across the timeline, slows it up a little. To Chandler, back to Mitten, over to Murdoch. Murdoch down low to Garrett. Garrett's got to watch his feet here. He stepped out of bounds earlier. Tries to cross it to Murdoch, and it's intercepted by Evans. Evans pushing now. He's got a 3-on-4. Up to Briggs. Briggs out to Kranich. Kranich out to Lindsay. Lindsay to Stone to Kranich. Kranich out to Evans. Evans to Stone to Kranich. Kranich now. Free throw. Doesn't make it. Tipped off the hands of Lindsay and into Murdoch. He can't quite get it. Garrett went for the rebound, and it looks like he's going to get called for a foul. It is Garrett called for the foul. It's his 2nd of the game. And now the Sentinels substitute 3. In comes Moeller, in comes Dixon, and in comes Blackwell. Blackwell will receive the inbound. Going to take it across the timeline. Gets it up to Dixon. Dixon now. Over to Evans. Back to Dixon. Screen by Moeller. Under 15 left on the shot clock. It's Kranich now, top of the key. Gets it up to Blackwell. Blackwell to Evans. They've got 5 on the shot clock. Evans starts to drive. He's got a wide open lane. Can't finish. Grabbed by Moeller. He can't finish. Murdoch now looks to push the tempo in. He doesn't. He slows up. Chandler for 3. He doesn't get it. Rebound by Dixon. He's going to take it up the court now. Over to Moeller. Moeller back to Dixon. Over to Kramer. He gets this one. 13-7. Missed one earlier. He gets this one. Mitten. Across the logo. Over to, back to Mitten. Over to Hadley. Hadley back to Mitten. Back to Hadley. Back to Mitten. Over to Murdoch now. Murdoch dumps it down low to Roberts. Back up to Murdoch for 3. He doesn't get it. It's Dixon now with the rebound. He's pushing it up. They're looking to make it a 1-score game here. Is Kranich. Over to Evans. That was Blackwell. Now it's Evans. He gets it down low to Moeller. Moeller drives, guarded by Roberts, and it's swatted away. Murdoch unwisely went to grab that inbound pass, but he gets it anyway. Roberts now, Mitten, back to Roberts. Roberts, right hand. He puts it up, can't get it. Rebound by the Sentinels. It's about time we saw a height difference come into play. Dixon over to Evans, and now a timeout by the Sentinels. Their second of the half. The Vikings looking good so far. They're beginning to live and die by the 3, something we saw them do a lot last season and not quite so much this season. And they're starting to do it. Up 6. We'll be back on PGSN, your home for Pleasant Grove Sports.
With the feeling! With the feeling! With the feeling! All day like, all night like, offense like, defense like, with a sound like, with a sound like, with a sound like. Let's go! 1, 2, 3, let's go!
Welcome back to Pleasant Grove Sports. We're in Harriman, Utah for the Pleasant Grove Vikings taking on the Mountain Ridge Sentinels. Vikings lead 13-7 here with 3:52 left in the first half. Shooting a lot of 3s so far. We'll see what they do here to close out the first half. It's going to be Dixon for the Sentinels inbounding. Gets it up to Blackwell. Blackwell looks right, directing traffic. Back to Dixon. Dixon down low to Evans, up to Moeller. Moeller loses it, and it's grabbed by Roberts eventually. So the Vikings have the ball now. It's Mitten at the curve. Left hand, double teamed. Up to Chandler. Chandler is fouled, but it's called no good. He's going to get a 1-and-1. It's the 7th foul on the Sentinels, and he'll go to the line. The foul was on Jackson Evans. Or excuse me, it was on Jackson Moeller, his 2nd of the game. Lindsay, the 6'4" sophomore. So Chandler is going to get his first free throw. It's a 1-and-1, so he has to make the first to get the second. Student section tries to get loud. Chandler's first is in and out, rebound by Evans. So Evans gets it over to Blackwell. Blackwell looking left, starts to move left, and drift left. Gets it over, Mitten pokes it away. It's out of bounds. It's going to stay Sentinel basketball with 25 on the shot clock. It's going to be Dixon inbounding now. He's going to get it up to Evans, it seems. And he actually gets it to Blackwell. Blackwell back to Evans, over to Blackwell again. Blackwell down low. It's Lindsay now with Stone for 3, and he sinks it. 13-10. Both teams in double digits. Vikings lead cut to 3 with 3 left. Over to Mickelson. Mickelson back to Mitten. Mitten thought about a three. It's Mickelson now. Back to Mitten. Roberts now down low in the paint. Back to Mitten. Mitten thinks about a three, doesn't take it. Now it's Mickelson. Down low to Roberts again. Roberts takes this one and can't quite sink it. Rebound by the Sentinels. It's Blackwell. Gets it over. It's Evans. The top of the key, triple guarded. And a foul will be called. It was Stone trying to push the ball towards the basket. And the foul's called on Ryan Hadley, the 5'11" junior guard. It's his first of the game. In comes Briggs. Out goes Dixon. The two shots for Stone. Or excuse me, a 1-and-1. His first is no good, but he gets the ball back. Gets it up to Blackwell, over to Evans. Evans looking for Blackwell, doesn't take the lane. Evans now, top of the key. Drives left hand. And shot is no good. Seems like a foul is going to be called on Hadley. Didn't look like a foul. It looks like he was up and down. Foul was called on Riker Mickelson. His first of the game, Vikings 8th of the half. Appears it was an off-ball foul, and now Evans is going to get a shot. And he can't sink this one. This time the Vikings grab the rebound. It's Chandler. Mitten now, 2-on-4. Gets it up to Mickelson. Mickelson over. Corner was Hadley, and he ends up taking it, and it's no good. Evans with the bound. Blackwell now. Crosses the timeline. Tries to drive on Mitten. Doesn't go anywhere. It's Evans. Excuse me, Briggs. Up to Stone. Stone over to Blackwell. Blackwell to Evans. Evans drives left hand. And he's going to get called for a charge. Another one called on the Sentinels. The Vikings have drawn 4 this game. That one was drawn by Michael Mitten. And both teams with 8 fouls. 1:44 remaining in this first half. Vikings lead 13-10. It's Mitten. Let's just see what his options are. Sides on Mickelson. Mickelson, corner by Hadley. He takes it this time. Can't sink it. Evans grabs the rebound again. Blackwell gets caught up in traffic with his own man. Gets it back to Evans. Now back to Blackwell. Blackwell, top of the key. Over to Stone. Excuse me, that was not Stone. This is Stone. Stone looks for Blackwell. Doesn't get him. Gets Evans instead. Left hand. Guarded by Chandler. Gets it up top to Briggs. Briggs over to Blackwell. Blackwell in the corner to Lindsay. Lindsay up to Briggs. Excuse me, Stone. Stone get to Evans. Evans, spin move. Nice move, and the foul called. Chandler reached in, swatted his arm as he went up. A great spin move by Evans. The Sentinels are going to get 2 shots this time. So no, and 1-and-1 scenario. Evans with both shots. Makes the first, so it's a 2-point ball game. Under a minute left to go in the first half. Out goes Hadley, in comes Dean. So the Vikings playing with Mitten, Chandler, Mickelson, Dean, and Roberts. The second shot goes in and out, rebound Chandler. Up to Mitten, 2-on-4. Crosses it to Roberts. Roberts dunks on him. Great shot with authority. It's Blackwell and a timeout called by the Vikings, I believe. Both teams are staying on the court, so it might be a clock issue. I believe it was another shot clock issue. Briggs finds Stone. Stone finds Blackwell. Blackwell to Dixon. Dixon back on the court. Gets it over to Blackwell. Blackwell back to Dixon. Dixon guarded by Mitten. Tries to drive. Can't find anything. It's Stone. Stone finds Briggs. Briggs for 3. He can't convert. It's Mitten now taking his time. Vikings want the last shot of this half, up 4. He finds Chandler, back up to Mitten, over to Mickelson. Mickelson to Chandler. Chandler for 3, in and out, rebound Dean. And he's fouled and 1 as time expires. Vikings are going to be up 4 and get a shot before they go into the locker room. Great first half so far from the Vikings, holding the opposition. Wonder if they're going to get these LED lights off before they make him shoot the shot. You'd assume they have to. Believe they'll just have him put the halftime clock up for a second while he shoots it. The lights are off. Clock has been changed to 8 minutes. There's 17-11. So the refs had to go over and fix a couple things at the scorer's table. Hawk hits the drape, and the clock never got started. So some mistakes at the end by the scorer's table, but the result is the same. Vikings lead 17-11 going into the half. We'll be back with a halftime show after this on PGSN, your home for Pleasant Grove Sports. You may have background noise as there are Sentinels performing on the court, but we will have our halftime show here. Vikings lead 17-11. Great first half. Whenever you hold the opposition to 11 points, it's nothing to complain about. They held them to 2 in the first quarter. We'll see what they can do in the second half as the Vikings started to cool off. Watch, as he does have potential to pop off. He did it earlier this season. We also like to highlight our very own number 22, Michael Mitten. Those are our only 2 sport Vikings on varsity for both sports. So the second half's coming up. Not right after this. We'll have a commercial break, and I'll be back. We'll talk about some other region games going on currently. And
With the feeling! With the feeling! With the feeling! All day like, all night like, offense like, defense like, with a sound like, with a sound like, with a sound like. 3, 1, 2, 3, let's go!
so once again, after the first half, your Vikings lead 17-11 as you see that clock ticking down to the second half. Vikings with a little bit of foul trouble for a couple key players. Peterson has a couple fouls. Garrett also was sitting towards the end of that half, also sitting in a little bit of foul trouble. We'll see what the Vikings can do in the second half. Once again, they lead by 5. Our player to watch, Ryan Hadley, who had a couple wide open threes in that first half. We'll see what he can do here. He does have a lot of opportunities. He's being left open a little more than he should. And let's hope he can convert in the first quarter. They scored 9 in the second quarter and now have 11.
I'm testing the camera, sorry.
They play
Beaumont, Texas United.
Beaumont, Texas United, I'm being told. And then they play Meriden High School on Thursday next week before they travel to Orlando after Christmas for a tournament. So the Vikings not facing the easiest schedule this year. The Meriden, Idaho game on the 15th. Unridge Sentinels, your Vikings. Harriman, Riverton, West Jordan, and Copper Hills are the teams accompanying them. Vikings play in one of the hardest regions in the state and consistently put up good numbers. It's Peter. So the Sentinels have to get back on offense. It's Kranich driving right hand, and shots called off and a foul on Riker Mickelson, the substitute for Mackay Peterson. It's his second of the game. Well, they're riding with Evans, Blackwell, Briggs, Stone, and Moeller. And the Vikings are riding with Murdoch, Mitten, Mickelson, Garrett, and Roberts. It's Briggs, left hand, guarded by Murdoch, and it. Garrett, and they're going to call a charge. Valiant effort there by Blackwell to look set, and he gets the call. Something the Vikings have struggled with so far this season is offensive rebounds and allowing those, as Murdoch almost gets it poked away, but he grabs it. Gets it up to Mitten. They're just going to run clock. So he pushes it up to Chandler. A little bit of a risky pass there. If you are just trying to run clock. Under 6 to go. Murdoch down low to Dean. Dean puts it up, and no good. Rebound. Who gets it over to Hawks. Hawks up to Hadley. Hadley back to Simon. Simon in the curve. Tries to drop it down low to Dean. And it's grabbed by Hilliard, who pushes it back out to Simon. 50. Sentinels not quite at 30. Still aren't after a missed 3.